Says you're in the show and everyone
Yes.
can see and hear you.
Hello, everybody. So glad to be with you today. You got it. We are here on Beyond the Briefcase, and we've got Barbara with us, we've got Tami with us, and myself, Sherry. We are going to be talking today because we have our guest, Tami, right here in my backyard. So, we are going to be talking about what is it that we do? How do we have that life that we want to have without worrying about business? What do we do to make sure that we have the life beyond the business that we want to have? And I know if you're in business for yourself, it's like 24/7 and it's 18 hours a day or plus. But let's get some ideas about what are the things that we can do. So I'm going to talk in terms of what Barbara does and what Tami does, just as a start. Barbara's one of those people that just keeps on trucking. Every day she is on the go. And you know what I love about her? She changes her glasses all the time. It's really cool. I don't do that, Barbara.
No, I have all sorts of different pairs.
It's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about Barbara.
Yeah, such a great question. And that's one of the things that is part of my story, is because for the first years of my life, so much of what I did was based on other people's opinions. Okay, are you guys frozen? No. Okay, well, let's just keep going and we'll just see what happens. Anyways, so they'll come back. Anyway, so yeah, I'm Barbara Ellison, and I'm the founder of Wellness Playroom.
There you are. Barbara, we froze. Something happened, so start again.
You froze. All right, so let's start again. Let's start again. You know what? We love live. This is live.
Yes. Whatever can go wrong does. Yeah.
Whatever can go wrong does. Right. And we love technology, because sometimes you're at the mercy of it. But anyways, yeah. So I'm Barbara Ellison, founder of Wellness Playroom, for the best version of you. And for the first probably 60 years of my life, I didn't realize I wasn't living the best version of me, because I didn't know who me was. And it all came to a head when my husband passed away, and he passed away 13 years ago. And I realized when I came out of my widow's fog, I realized that I had no idea of who I was outside of all the labels that I had put on myself, of being a daughter, and then being a wife, and then being a mother, and then being a divorced failure, but then being a successful wife again, and then being a grandmother and a business owner. And now I'm a widow. And it just it imploded on me. And in that moment, I said, I cannot go on like this another day. I have got to, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? And that was the scariest moment of my life. However, over these last years, that it has crystallized in who I work with. Because now I work with late career business professionals who are facing retirement. And they have no idea of who they are outside of their job title or their job description. And their whole life has been around the job, climbing the corporate ladder. And now some of them have gotten to the top of the corporate ladder, and they realize, ooh, yike, I cannot go on like this for another minute. And now they're facing retirement. So now they're trying to overcome the stress. Their health is declining, and they probably might have some like financial uncertainty, because what am I going to do when I don't have the paycheck? There's answers. And so that's why, yeah, people come to me and it's like, okay, Barb, what am I going to do? Well, let's start with where you are. Let's find out where you are right now. Who are you within what you do right now? And it is just amazing to me how many times people looked at me and go, and they don't know, because they've never thought of it. They haven't experienced it. And that is why it's heartbreaking, because they've spent, I spent my whole life trying to be somebody I wasn't. And that's where my red glasses, and because I was brought up that, professional women are conservative. They don't wear red glasses and bright red lipstick and sparkles on their nails. Ooh. But now, guess what? We do. And it's okay.
You're
okay.
beautiful.
So that's me. And it's like, but so many people are in the same boat.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Thank you, Barbara. We have an idea now for us going forward. Tami, tell us about you.
Oh, yeah. My name's Tami Leigh, and I work as a workplace therapist. I own my own business, and I have since 2007. And prior to that, I owned my own business with a partner, and we ran an international recruitment agency for oil and gas professionals. So I started doing some training and development for people in business. So working as a workplace therapist, it allows me the opportunity to help people overcome their roles and become the person they're intended to be, as opposed to the person that they think they should be. And I think that that's a real big part of the workplace.
Just life.
Yeah. I think that in our workplace, that it puts us in situations where we have to earn an income. Mm-hmm. We don't get to choose who we work with. We don't always get to choose who we work for. If you live in an urban area, you have more choices. But if you live in a remote area or small towns, we really don't have as many choices. And so people take jobs based on not their passion, but based on a necessity to pay their bills, to get things done, to put their kids through school, whatever it is that they're doing. So in the workplace, that sort of made me noodle more about the role of the workplace. And I started to realize that in the workplace, we're given a spiritual place to actually develop into who we're intended to be. So when people come to see me and they say, "Oh my God, I hate my job," I go, "Oh man, if I was you, I'd quit it." "Oh God, I can't quit my job. I have to pay my bills." I'm like, I was like, "Oh, you're right. Yeah, you could love it." "Oh, you don't work with their horrible blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Man, if I was you, I'd quit my job, man." So we work around those areas where we start to allow people to understand that every single day they choose where they're going and what they're doing with their world. And if they choose the job because somebody offers them a job, and they accept the job and then hate the job. And so we work at where are the areas that you're struggling, and for the organization, where are the areas that you can pull everybody together, and how can you allow people to go through their own processes in order to overcome any of the obstacles that they're facing, either in the job itself, with the people that they work with, or the people that they work for, their clientele. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And right now I've started really focusing on First Nation communities. They're very, very rural. The one place that I'm working right now, we are 3 hours from a grocery store.
Oh, wow. So
and
that
1 hour from a gas station.
And that's a challenge in itself.
Yeah. And you're working with people that you know and that you're related to. And so that creates another level, right, on the emotional development and spiritual development for people, because they feel like they shouldn't have a voice or can't have a voice, and so on. So anyways, there's lots of ways of healing for people, and lots of opportunities to lots of this is live.
Exactly.
Lots of opportunities to grow within their families and within their community itself. And I have a real innate passion for doing those kinds of things. So I think I'm in the right place at the right time, doing the right things. So.
You certainly are. No question about that.
Fun.
Oh boy. Wow. Two extremely strong and extremely knowledgeable women who are doing what they love to do.
3.
Yeah. So tell us about you, Sherry. Now did you notice the way? Okay, and I'm going to tell you, these two are sisters. You know, so in the pre-show, they were doing their sisterly love, of course, and it has been fascinating because, like, with my sisters and I, there were times where it was like, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, let's do I have to claim you as my sister? You know,
I
so
love to claim Tami as my sister.
exactly, of course we do, but there are those moments though that and see the thing is that's family, and yet sometimes your job can be like family too.
That's
And
true.
it's relation. It's not a matter of that it's family, it's relationship. And sometimes it's the relationship with ourselves. Oh, when was the last time you beat yourself up for something that you did or
Oh,
didn't do?
about 3 seconds ago. Yeah.
Would be about 3 seconds. Exactly. We've all done it.
Yes.
So, Terry, tell us about you. Yeah.
Oh, dear. Thanks, Barb. Yeah, I'm Sherry Knight. I am the president and CEO of Dimension 11. And what most people find interesting is the name of the company, because a lot of people think Dimension, oh, for some reason they go to hairstyling. And I'm going, oh, that's interesting. Okay. But no, it's the various dimensions of the human being and in my mind, the infinity of the number one and the infinity of the human being to develop to their full potential. So, from that perspective, my work entails working with individuals who are wanting to, pardon me, to move forward. So, if you're looking at your career and you want to move your career forward, how do you do that? If you are looking at your business and you're wanting to make adjustments in your business so that you have a life, how do you do that? And then if you are in big business, i.e. corporate world, you're executive in the C-suite there, you're looking and going, okay, what's life all about in this realm? And so looking at that. Today, we're talking in terms of where do we go from here? And everybody has a different thought in terms of what it is. But you know what? I have never yet heard of anybody on their dying bed who said, I wish I spent more time at business. I wish I spent more time in the office. It doesn't happen. And so, from that perspective, what we're talking about today is what do we do to move forward? Now, I want to share with you one of the things that happened to me. I woke up one morning and I looked around my room and went, I wonder what hotel I'm in. It was a beautiful room. It was a waterbed. That's telling you a little bit about how long ago this was.
Yes.
I was on a waterbed. There was this beautiful white brick wall, and then this lovely beige and white and blue, little blue flowers as wallpaper. It's gorgeous. I'm looking around and I'm going, what hotel am I in? That wasn't coming to me. So I looked around again and went, okay, what city am I in? Montreal, Helsinki, Vancouver. Nothing's coming. I look out the window and go, oh, okay, I'm in a hotel that's on the ground floor because I can see a tree outside. The beautiful, obviously summer because there was lots of greenery around. So I look at that and I'm thinking, this is really cool. And nothing is coming. So all of a sudden I look around and go, oh my gosh, I'm in my own room, my own bed, and my own bedroom. Scared the living daylights out of me. It's that element that we're talking about here, about all of a sudden that recognition that something needs to change. And so I realized at that moment that I was burnt out and I needed to adjust my livelihood, all the things that made a difference to me in order to move forward. Because I love my business. I love it.
Yeah.
But what changes did I need to make so that I wasn't just my business? I was a human being as well. And so looking at that, Tami, help us. What are some of the things that you've done in your life to make that difference? Because I know we all have, right?
Right.
What about you?
The difference between overworking,
Yeah. What are the things that you
balance.
put into place? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. We have to stop and think about it. And isn't that
Well, I'm trying to think of what would be relatable. I think everybody should own a horse.
Yeah.
Horses are very grounding. And when I'm with my horse or on my horse, I think about nothing else. Nothing. Not one thought of work, not one thought of my kids, my grandkids, my bills, absolutely nothing. It's extremely grounding. Water helps me a tremendous amount. I walk by the river.
Oh, just a minute. Back up. You're talking about a horse. So some of us live in the city,
I live
We
in the
can't-
city. I have a horse.
but we can't
It's
all have a
possible. I'm just
horse.
telling you. Yeah, but you should. Just joking. You could. I never say should. But anyways, no, but it's about the one thing that you have that takes you away from this moment.
Okay.
Right.
Or actually, let me rephrase that, puts you into this moment, not
Make
the
you
one that
present.
you're thinking about all the things I have to do and so on and so forth. So another one for me is water. Walking by the river, going anywhere near water, lake, river, ocean, seas, anything like that.
We walked this
Super
morning.
helpful. We walked by the lake this morning. Sherry has a fountain in her yard that's absolutely beautiful. And you can always hear the water running. So water is a real good grounder for people. Sometimes I just stand outside on my grass in my usually bare feet
Right.
and get myself grounded. Um, I I think that there's things that are always with us that we can do instantly to take us out of the stress and strain in a moment that's stressful, and then things that feed the soul on a longer term, things that take more time. Sherry travels a lot, goes to different places, loves to learn new things. Whenever we travel together, though, like I want to meet people, and Sherry wants to look at the history. So she tells people when we travel together, we came here to learn this, this, and this. And I said, no, 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 no. She came here to learn this, this, and this. And I came here to meet you. So, yeah, it's just a difference in focus, right? So, learning and relationship, just the two things. And so, whatever it is that floats your boat is the thing that is most enticing to the soul and the psyche to be able to engage in it. That's what I find with
makes
most
sense.
people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes it's just change of perspective.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
just that slight mind shift. And I'll tell you,
Change your glasses, Barbara.
change glasses.
No,
I
like
can-
just to change
oh,
perspective.
here, the change of personality.
I love it.
I had no idea you had it right there.
What, and because these are my fun ones. These are-
Right?
these ones are my professional ones. But these are my
Oh, they all
But the
look nice.
thing is, but you'll notice the color.
Mhm.
You'll notice the color. But one day I'm from Montreal. And so this is a few years ago, that I was up visiting my sister, and we do the same thing. She lives just like a block and a bit off of the lake. So we were, Montreal's an island. So we were just walking down by the lake shore and just walking around. And well, I was picking up, like picking up garbage. I tend to carry a bag with me, and I pick up garbage. And she said, "Barb, why are you picking up garbage?" And I looked at her and I said, "I'm not picking up garbage. I'm beautifying your neighborhood." And that led to such a fun conversation because it's all in your perspective.
Mhm. Mhm.
Totally.
And bringing you back, and it brought us back to like, oh right. And I have used that example in so many other things. Okay, how can you see the other side of this? Like for me, I love the law of polarity because there's two sides to everything. There's hot and cold, there's light and dark, there's soft and hard. There's two sides. Most of us kind of live in the middle.
Well, it's beautiful that you say that, because when you talk about perspective, I'm going to tell on myself here. I had a delivery one day for my birthday, and it was a gift from my daughter. It was a little wee vase, beautiful size, and the color is, interesting is how I would put it. It was primary colors just splashed on this vase. And I looked at it and I went, doesn't she know the kinds of things that I would like? Because this is not it.
And not like.
And not like. Yeah. So I do the right thing. I phone her and I say, thank you so much for thinking of me. And she said, oh, I'm so glad that you like it. Jordan picked it out. In a nanosecond, I changed my perspective because my granddaughter picked it out.
Picked it out for you.
Yes, for me.
For you.
For me. And exactly that perspective was like, wow. And I went, holy catfish. I couldn't believe the difference in my attitude so fast. Ashamed that I had that perspective that said, didn't you think about me? And then the like, isn't it wonderful how people thought about me? But that, you're right, Barbara. It's nanosecond. We can change our perspective.
Yeah. And it's those conversations. I think that, and we can have them with ourselves.
Yeah, they're not always great.
They're not. You know, it's like, okay, Barbara, you need to change your attitude here. When things are kind of like going less than stellarly.
Yeah.
But we beat ourselves up so often. That's one of the things that I work with my clients is that quit beating yourself up for the things that you're not. Let's celebrate the things that you are. And now let's work on the things that you are. And how are you going to translate that into doing the things that make your heart sing?
You know, that's
be trying to be stuck in a job that you're not liking. And I loved what you said at the beginning, Tami, about this. So often it's how we see things.
And you're so good at this, Barbara, because all of us, even those of us who are, and the three of us do, we all think positively. We all try to find the good things. And there are times when we are not thinking positively, like everybody else, right? We all have both sides.
Right.
And you're very good at going, Sherry,
calm down.
Let's look at what you're doing well. And my sister, Tami, does the same thing. Let's put the positive spin on that. And I hope I do that for the two of you as well, because,
right.
Can I just add to it?
Sure.
It's not just positive, it's actually reality. It's about being honest about things, right? Like, if I expect myself to be perfect, then every time I'm imperfect, then I'm going to criticize. I allow my brain to criticize it. It just sort of opens that door.
Sure.
But if I understand, I think it's Brene Brown, her gift of imperfection.
Yeah.
She relates things to how to be honest with ourselves and how to be an honest human being. I haven't met anybody who says every human being is supposed to be perfect. No, I've never met anybody. Oh, we all have faults, we all have defects, and we all have this, and we all have that. And everybody says that, but then we don't live it.
But we do. Exactly.
We live it. And so it's really about being honest and about looking at what, like balancing. You said everything has an equal and balanced opposite. Right. I'm a huge believer in cause and effect. So if I do this, then these things are going to happen. And if I do that, then these things are going to happen. And I believe our free will to live our life the way we want is a series of cause and effects. Sure. So if somebody wants a different effect, then we can look at what's the cause here and adjust the cause, and you'll get a different effect.
Yeah. Right. And take responsibility.
Sorry, Barbara?
And take responsibility. Like, I've had to look back on my life and go, well, yeah, I guess if I had done that a little differently, I wouldn't be dealing with this now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's absolutely the truth.
The greatest gift, I tell women when I've got a group of women, I say the greatest gift you'll ever get is aging.
Yes.
Because we, as women, and some men, but as women, we reflect more on the choices that we made, where we went, how we did, what was okay, what wasn't okay, what we want, and we truly do get to a phase where we want to do things differently. And when we get to the place where we want to do it differently, that's what opens up all kinds of possibilities. It's absolutely brilliant. Men do too. I just find that with women, there's a lot more negative chatter sometimes.
Oh yeah. Well, that isn't it. Isn't the statistic is that 85% of the thoughts that we have every day are repetitive, and 90% of them are negative. Unless we train our brain to not do that.
One of the individuals that I was acquainted with recently, I loved what they said, and it picks up on what you're saying, Tami. And their perspective was, as I get older and I become a grandmother, I see that I wish I had treated my children the way I get to treat my grandchildren. I thought,
Yes.
wow.
Well, that's why they have T-shirts that say, "If I'd have known grandkids were this much fun, I would have them first."
Exactly.
That's the one I quote. And I tell my kids, "I love you dearly. Your kids are amazing."
Yes, yes, and exactly it. That's like a friend of mine. She has done hospice for
Oh, beautiful.
years, very many years. And one of the things that she did, just like she was telling us the other day, that so many of the people they don't. I think Sherry said at the beginning, you wish they had spent more time, at the office. No, people don't say that on their deathbeds. But one of the biggest thing is exactly what we just talked about. They wish they had known their kids the way they now know their grandchildren. Because when you're having your kids, you're doing what we talked about at the beginning. You're earning an income. You're climbing the corporate ladder. You're doing then, and you're paying the mortgage. Da 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 da.
You're juggling life,
and you're juggling life.
Yeah.
And especially so many of us that are in business, we are trying to fit our life into our business rather than doing it the opposite way, where we are fitting our business into our life.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I say so often now is that, we have been brought up, and I think it's partly generational, that we were brought up that if you do this, you're going to have this. And once you have that, then you're going to become this. No. We have to realize we've got it totally backwards. We have to be this first. Who does God want you to be? Who do you want to be inside you? What kind of person do you want to be? And then once you know that, then you're going to do the things that make your heart sing, that give you passion and purpose, and that you'll love your life. And then once you love your life, you're going to have everything you could possibly want.
Yeah.
And people go, "Oh, I've never thought of it that way." And we weren't brought up that way. You came out of school, you got a job, you tried to work till you got the gold watch.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't happen anymore.
Not the same way, for sure. I wonder if that ties in with being grateful for things that are really awful.
Yeah.
Things that have really devastated us or changed our course.
Yeah.
Even the small things in a day, I was talking to somebody recently, they got in a car accident, just ruined the day and ruined the next day with insurance. And I said, well, what's really interesting is cause and effect. I said, that happened back here with a distraction and yada, 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 right?
Yeah.
And when we can be grateful for any of the challenges, any of the things that we're trying to cope with, deal with, resolve, heal from, and so on, when we can be grateful for that, we start to understand how these things are here so that we can gain that character, gain those skills so that we can do the things that we really want to be able to do. Right. And that, a lot of times we just run away from that responsibility, but also the accountability to own my life.
Right.
Not just a responsibility for the tasks, but that accountability that this is my life and this is the only one I got.
Right. Right.
I get to learn, even though I might be resentful that something's happening to me, and I hear people blaming anything, themselves, other people, some kind of spiritual thing. Oh, I get all these things, and I'm like, oh, aren't you fortunate to get those things? Because that's how you're going to grow, and that's where you're going to know that new skill set.
I bet you get a lot of pushback from that one.
I do.
Yeah, because we growing at this.
We talk about the last time it happened, something negative happened to them, and I said, what did you learn from it? How did you grow from it? How do you give that to other people? How do you help your kids with it, and so on? As opposed to, we spend a lot of time thinking we're supposed to be perfect, and so should everybody else around us, and criticizing and debating and discussing and all kinds of crazy ass things. Sorry, crazy things, crazy things that that we spend a lot of time criticizing things that we have absolutely no control over. None. Zero. Zip. None. But we have control over the things that we're going to do in this moment. Right. How I'm going to think, how I'm going to respond, how I'm going to be grateful, how I'm going to look at it as an opportunity for me to develop into the person I'm asked to become.
Right. So this past week, I had a couple of challenges that were like, yeah, and you just kind of like, yeah. And then I got to the point where it was like, Barbara, can you control this?
Oh.
And I was like, well, no. Okay, then all you can do is trust the process. Yeah. That it will all work out.
100%.
But that is so, once in a while, that is so hard to do. And yet that was the lesson that I had to learn this week. Yeah. Was just trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process, because everything, in so many things, there is a process. We have to just trust the steps.
Always.
And it's hard to remember to do that.
Yep. Exactly.
I don't know that it's hard to remember. It's
not hard to
remember all the negative things we've done, the times I failed. They're really prevalent. I'm not sure that we don't remember it. I don't know that we've ingrained it into our synapses, into our brain.
Yeah,
I agree.
And when that's my pattern, then I pick up my tools out of my tool belt and I put them into place in order for the process to work and for me to get out of the way of what I can't control.
But we have to be conscious of doing that because the other is so natural.
Right. Yeah, I think it starts with awareness. Just awareness of the thought process. That okay, why am I thinking so negative? Mm-hmm. It can be that easy. Why am I thinking so? What is it? Or for me, sometimes, what is it about this that's making me crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, is it something, and so many things come up from our childhood. I mean, we got everything before we were 7, 8 years old.
Yep.
What is this triggering? Why am I being triggered by this? Yeah. This small little inconsequential itty bitty thing that just happened. Yeah. Why is it? What's it triggering in me? Oh. Mm-hmm. And I think what happens is that people don't take the time to sit there and go, oh yeah, well, gee, maybe, like, why is this person bugging me so much? Well, what are you seeing in them that you don't like in yourself?
I don't like that comment.
No. Exactly. And that's exactly what happens to people.
A good friend of mine says, if you spot it, you got it.
Oh, I like that. All right, I'll have to remember that.
But she also says it's the good things too. When you say, oh, I love that gal. Oh, they're so kind. They're so nice. She said, if you spot it, you got it.
Yeah, right.
But I don't like the negative one.
Yeah. But okay, I have to tell you, I immediately went to the negative one. Isn't that telling?
It's human nature.
It's human nature. Because I automatically went to the negative one. Oh, if I'm, then I, if I'm being a witch, then, if somebody's being a witch to me, then, I might have been a witch to them in first.
Or anybody else.
or anybody else. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to bring our conversation back because Tami was talking in terms of outside grass and feet in the grass and walking
Yeah,
around the lake and having a horse. That's a little beyond me, but that one in particular. But we're looking at what can we do to take ourselves out of the business so that we are refreshed and that we come back to the business with, you know, that head on our shoulders that says, hey, yeah. And I don't care if you own your own business or if you are working for somebody else. We all have those days when we go, oh, I wish things were better. But how do we look after us and make sure that we are the best that we can be at that particular time? Because without that, it's drudgery. How do we look after ourselves? I like those things that you said, Tam. They were really, really helpful. And, you know, Barbara, you do things too, one thing at a time.
I think one of my biggest things is I try to learn something. I try to learn, like right now, I'm learning how to do TikTok. I'm in my 70s and I'm learning how to do TikTok, but why not? It's different.
Is it work related?
It's yeah, because it's social media. Because I'm a brand partner for a wellness company, and so right now this is one of the things that we're doing. So many people, they need to hear what we have to offer them in the wellness space. But you know, how many people are on social media? Well,
Yeah.
so let's take advantage of it, and so that's what we're learning how to do. But it's like just totally different. I'm used to doing live conversations like this. I'm not used to doing little on TikTok.
Yes.
But it's fun and I am enjoying it. It's different. And I think sometimes just even doing something different
Yep.
can change change that paradigm. Like we talked
Very
about how
quickly.
there's that little paradigm shift.
That's
Do
wonderful.
something different.
It's almost instantaneous, Barbara. Hey,
Yeah.
as soon as you just do something, like you don't even have to think differently. Sometimes it's about moving your body, changing position, stand up, sit down. Like it can be really simple things, but yeah,
That's
cool.
interesting you say that because when I'm working with clients and we can't see something one way, I say go around and sit on the other side of the table or the
Yeah.
other side of the desk.
Right.
Or
New
circle.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. There's that
good.
exercise where you put something in the middle of the room and everybody describes it, and as you go around, you start to understand how different you see it.
Right.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
time
That's like the game we played when we were kids, right? The telephone game. You whisper something to everybody, and when it comes back, it's like
That's
what?
not the same thing.
Same concept.
It's not the same.
Okay,
concept.
sorry.
God.
I think she's
You know,
my sister or
but
something.
but the thing is though, what lots of times what we say is not necessarily what the other person hears.
That's right.
That's why that is.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
That's-
that's how it's listening?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kind of, just a little bit.
Well, she gave me a little bit of credit this morning.
Oh, you get all the credit. Just wrong idea. You get all the credit for the wrong idea.
The thing is though, all of it impacts every part of our lives.
Yeah.
Everything. You're right.
And I think that's where sometimes we'll take something will happen to us or we'll take it in and we'll take it personally. And then 3 weeks later, we are so PO'd because it has triggered, and we come back to that person again. They have no idea what they said. Totally unaware that you are just absolutely so mad at them. And they're going like, what?
Yeah.
And no clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
Very true.
They have a thing that I've heard that says a resentment is like taking the poison and expecting the other person to die. Not die really, but get sick, right? Suffer for it. But it doesn't, it just affects us, right?
Interesting though, because it can be the sort of the opposite in the sense. I had a situation where an individual had come to me, asked for guidance, gave the guidance, and then phoned and apologized because they felt somebody had told them they shouldn't be talking to me, that they wanted to get into the same field, and that was just not right. They shouldn't have done that. To me, yeah, the world's like a big circle or a big pie, and there's lots of room for all of us in this.
All of us. Yeah.
Not a problem. But it's interesting because this individual, every time from then on that we had an appointment set up, it got canceled. Every time. To the point where I'm going, what did I do that hurt this person so much that they feel they can't talk to me? They can't spend time with me. And it's bothered me over the years, which is probably in the vicinity of at least 20 years.
Oh.
And not too long ago, we happened to get together. And I asked, did I do something? And the answer was no. We have had such traumatic family occurrences that every time we were to get together, something happened with this particular family incident. Every time. And I thought, wow, all these years I've been beating myself up.
It's all about me.
That's right, right? I've been beating myself up. What did I do wrong? And it had nothing to do with me. Now, if I'd have been smart enough at that particular time, right, to ask the question early on, like
years ago.
Yeah, like 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been going through that. So, yeah, same thing, different aspect.
So can I add cause and effect?
You bet.
So I think that the guy's mad at me that I've done something, that I'm doing something. It's going to change how I behave.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
And you're going to get a different effect. Knowing that you're not responsible for it is going to change the way you behave. Just naturally.
Yeah.
Not cognitively, just natural thing. I think the other thing too, adding on to those kinds of things, is being able to accept the unacceptable. So we talked already about accepting things as they are and knowing that we're not perfect and stuff. Being able to accept the unacceptable. And I'm working with people right now who've lost their kids. They've, most recently suicide.
So
and other people who have lost them from accidents or drinking or drugging and stuff. So there's all kinds of ways that we can have loss and really have that grief affect us. And to get to the place where we can accept the unacceptable is a real journey.
Very
so losing a spouse, like you shared, Barbara. Losing John.
Yeah. Same thing in my family.
Yeah. And then like for some people, losing a job or having to retire or being forced into retirement. That's the kinds of things can become very unnatural to the way we live and see our world. So getting to that place where we can accept the unacceptable, it doesn't mean we condone it. It doesn't mean we agree with it. We don't think it's great or good. Nothing positive on that side of it. But getting to that place of real deep honesty about what is instead of what I wish it was can really help people to live a life that's very, very full. I saw a documentary on centurions one time, and this gal said she was 115 or something. She said, I had to get very used to losing people. I lost my parents, my siblings, my friends, my spouse, all kinds of losses. And she said, if I'm going to hang on to those, I wouldn't have been able to live this long and be happy in my life. So I thought that was a very interesting statement, that is part of life, losing things, people, jobs, whatever.
It's very true.
And I don't mean to minimize it. I know that the grief and the loss is very severe and very deep, and it sometimes it's the very cornerstone of our being when we're tied in with those things. But it's possible to accept the unacceptable.
Yeah. So,
And maybe the word, pardon me, that the word accept may be the tough word because we have to get used to it, right?
Yeah.
And you can't get used to it until you accept it, but doesn't mean I have to like it.
No.
It's just the way it is.
I don't have to like it. It's not right. It's not. I'm not condoning it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's a great thing.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I don't have to resign myself. I think that's a difference. If I resign myself to something, I can still be affected deeply by it. But when I accept it, it changes my ability to continue to do the things that are good and healthy for me.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's, I guess I think of our mother, who it was 7 years before I really noticed that she got through the grief of losing my father, her husband, our father. That was a long time.
They were married 52 years, and I tell everybody 49 of them were unhappy.
Yes.
But then Dad got dementia,
Wow.
and they got along perfect because there was no more power struggles.
Right.
And then when he passed, he really missed him, and that's when I realized that love looks different ways for different people. I have no business saying that, they could have or should have or they didn't or whatever. I
Yeah,
have no business doing that.
it's
Yeah.
interesting.
They
Oh,
loved
dear.
one another in their way.
In their way.
In their own way.
Their
And
own
love looks different to all of us. And that's self-love
Mhm.
and love for other people.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, getting a horse. Yeah, no, not part of my self-love. Not my sorry. I love you, Tami, already, but yeah, getting a horse, yeah, no.
No, or a passion. Find a passion.
I've ridden a horse, and I will go horseback riding occasionally, but to do it all the time, yeah, no. But you find that thing
That's right.
to help you to get that grounded, that centered, that in the moment.
Anything that can just, your brain wants to just be here. For some people, it's like crocheting or needlepoint or crocheting or creating something or painting or gardening or
Whatever.
like for Sherry, she has a lot of them that kind of just bring her into the moment.
Yeah. It's important.
Yeah.
Oh dear, it's almost time for us to wrap up. So
Yes, I can't believe this. This is what
that's right.
great topic.
It's been fun. So last words, Tam. Anything you want to share with us?
I would just say, like, really love your life because it's the only one you got.
Yeah.
Be good to you.
Mm-hmm. Very
Yeah.
good point.
Be really good to you.
Yeah.
Good show.
Then you can be good to others.
And I think for me is to remember that self-care, self-love is not selfish.
Mm-hmm.
What Tami just said, take care of you. If you want to go for a walk, then go for a walk. And if I don't have time to go for a walk, well, then who's in charge of your schedule? Schedule it on, like I schedule crochet time.
Ah, cool.
I'm sitting down and I'm going to crochet. It's on my schedule. Oh, yeah, but can I meet you at 3:00? Oh no, I already have an appointment.
To crochet.
To crochet.
Yeah.
Make an appointment with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Good one.
That's very good.
Yeah, very true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and last night I was reminded of something that I do now, but I started this. Take time for you. I would, at my desk, push my chair in and lay down on the floor behind my desk so nobody would see that I was there. They'd pop their head in and go, oh, well, Sherry's not there, and they'd leave. I would have a 10-minute power nap.
Yes.
It's looking exactly what the both of you are saying. It's looking after you and figure out ways to do it. Yes, I was working in the media at that time, and my hours could be anywhere from 6 a.m. to midnight. I did not feel bad about taking a 10-minute nap. I just needed to find a place where people weren't going to find me. And that was on the floor behind my desk. Everybody has an opportunity to look after themselves. So, folks, I hope that you enjoyed our little conversation here today. It's only that. It's a conversation. We hope you picked up some ideas. Thank you, Tami, for joining us today.
Thanks
It was
for inviting
wonderful.
me.
Ah, dear. And
Thanks,
Barbara,
Barb.
you're a doll. You're always looking after all the techie things because I am not interested whatsoever. It is not a passion. It's
Change
Barbara's
your
passion.
perception.
Oh dear, here we go. Yes. Learning again for Sherry. Take care, folks. So
All right.
glad to have you here. Bye for now.
See you next time. Have a good one.